Hello. So this one is going to be about making a basic treasure chest. There's some extras we can do to this, but we'll just go with a really basic thing just to get you going with some key modelling tools and navigational shortcuts. This is kind of suitable really for a beginner. More experienced people will already see any number of ways that this could be kind of made more individual. So anyway, your generic treasure chest, but this is specifically going to go into a game engine. So many of the decisions and the arrangements are about making it kind of more suitable, targeted for that sort of outcome in the work. Okay, so this is going to end up with, and there's going to be another one which will deal with the surface texture, laying out and generating. Okay, so we're going to wipe clean our viewport by hitting the delete key. Okay, so we are starting in object mode and we're working with units of centimeters. So this kind of chimes in exactly with what we get with the game engine interface, but also if you're going to export this and use this in any other software, having something common like centimeters works always round. Okay, so the way to start this is to add a mesh. So we go add mesh cube. Okay, because of the scaling changes I've made, the default view means we're quite close to the origin point in this particular scaling. Okay, so we can see down here in the add cube menu we've got 200 centimeters, but we don't want it to be cubic anymore, so we're going to have to find somewhere else we can really treat its dimensions. And so look over here in this menu here. By the way, this is this menu comes from the N key, so if I hit the N key it tidies away and then back again, opens it up. And so if you don't see that menu, N key, that gets you there. Okay, so we're going to put the following dimensions in, and these have been configured to work easily with snaps of 10. So obviously we're going to use jumps multiples of 10. So left to right in the X is going to be 80, and then I'm using the tab key to work down through the different fields. So the Y is front to back, so it's 40 centimeters deep. So from plan view it's like two squares put together. And then finally the height of the thing is going to be 30, so it's kind of low and wide, I guess, proportionately. This means we're sort of now somehow a bit further away from it, so just scroll in, scroll. Okay, so that's okay as far as it goes, but one thing I wanted to draw your attention to is now the scaling factors have gone from 1 to 0.4, and obviously if you do some maths, if you multiply the 80 centimeters by 0.4, if you do the maths to make 0.4 how many times into 1, that's 2.5. Do 2.5 times 80, you get to 200 centimeters. So the dimensions have been changed, but that seems to have happened through scaling, although I changed these numbers here. Okay, so we're going to go and remove these transforms, reset them back to 1, what they should be. And the quick way to do that is Control and A. So you can see here from my screencast keys that what I'm doing with the keyboard and mouse. So we want all transforms, and now the X, Y and Z is back to 1. Okay, that done, we can go into edit mode. So if you haven't got a live number going on here, haven't got a key text entry point live at that minute, then the tab key works to go into edit mode. So I hit the tab key and move up here. There we are, now in edit mode. So you have these other modes to choose from, but the tab key gets you between object and edit mode. Okay, so we need to go down to edit mode to look at the sub-objects of this object, and we arrive in face select mode. So you can only do face select mode in edit mode. We also have here vertex mode and edge mode, and these are accessible via the 1, 2 and 3 keys. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3, vertex, edge and face. So we want just this top face selected, and I'm going to delete that and go X, delete faces. Okay, so now we can see inside. Now Blender's helpful and it shows us the inside of faces, but if we exported it, and imported it into a game engine, you would just see straight through the inside of the mesh, because that's what that is effectively. So we need to build the inner surface of this. So the next thing to do is go back out to object mode using the tab key, and we'll go over to our modifier. So it's this spanner, or wrench if you're transatlantic. So the modifiers are here, and we need to choose the one to apply, which is in the generate section, and it's called solidify. Okay, so it's offset with a -1, which means it goes inwards. So instead of building a thickness outwards, it's all inwards. And then what we need to do is just type a number in there. We're going to go for a 2 centimeter thick interior. So this is like the reinforcement band that runs around the top is sort of folded over the wooden substructure that it maybe has, maybe it doesn't. So that bit's done. Now we want to make sure that this doesn't keep kind of rethinking itself when we do more mesh work. So we need to apply it. So just as with apply transforms, it's Control A. Now we can do Control A here, so visual geometry to mesh. And there we go. So it's kind of make what you see fixed into the mesh. So the modifier is now gone. Which, by the way, just in case you were wondering, if we go back to the solidify modifier, and we can apply it from there, which is Control A. So it does the same thing. Okay, so debatable which one's better. We'll do the next one using the built-in menu. It does the same thing. So I'm just going to remove that one because we've already done that. Okay, so now we can go and work around the outside faces and make the extrudes to make the banding effect. Okay, so we need to kind of cut up some geometry to make some faces for the extrude to work on. So I'm just going to click down on the scroll wheel and just drag up, and we're going to work around the outside and just select the sort of, I don't know, horizontal facing faces of this object. So tab key to go back into edit mode, and then I'm just going to drag select over these two faces here and orbit round. And now for the next bit, to add these into selection, I need to hold down the shift key and then drag over those as well. And I can see from my stats that I've got faces 4. By the way, if you want to set up so you can see stats in the same way, it's always going to forget this. This one, yeah, statistics. So that's where your stats live. Okay, so I've got my 4 faces selected, but before I go any further, I'm going to make it more difficult for myself and for you, sorry. Okay, here we go. Because I want to actually make these 2 front panels as separate bits. So the simple way to do that is to do Control R. And then I just move my cursor up towards an edge. Because these edges are all selected, it's edges I'm adding, but they're selected because they're the edges that go around the faces. That doesn't make sense. If I move my cursor over here, I have a horizontal one. But this is equidistant between the top and bottom of the object, and this one is equidistant between the left and right sides. So I know it's bang in the middle. And then left click to add it, and right click to stop it from moving to elsewhere. I think if I drag on this, will this, yeah, so I can drag it around using that. So if you know, even if I had set it wrong, I could go back and fix it up. Okay, so that's in the middle. That's great. And now we're going to do that whole selection thing again. So if I go to face mode again, which is 3 on the keyboard, spin round, got no faces selected. Because I added that, it kind of removed its working knowledge of the geometry, as it were. So it knew that the stuff was selected, but kind of had to forget it because everything got rearranged because I added some. This one face is now 2 faces. Okay, so drag over these 3 and check my stats that it's just 3. Go around, click down on the scroll wheel to orbit round, and then I'm going to hold shift down and include these 3 as well. So back to 6 faces. I'm going to make sure I'm looking at the front of the object. So this one is the -y. This should be this side. That means it's the front side of any object you're working on. Sometimes it's clear what the front side of an object is, but nonetheless, that's how it's seen in other tutorials and help information that you'll find on Blender. So go with that one. Okay, so we're going to do the insets first. Now the inset is something that works either for all faces all at once. So if I hit I on the keyboard, I just need to move the mouse a little bit so we can see where it's working. So you can see like it's joined those faces together and it's treating them as one. So if we hit I again on the keyboard, now it treats them as separately, and now we need to go for a number. And the number I've decided is 3 centimeters. So 3 on the keyboard, and there it is. Once you're happy with what you've done, you hit enter or left click. I like enter because it doesn't move the mouse any. No danger there. And so we can see from the settings here, we've got what we want. It's treated as individuals. So if I undo that. So I3, inset, individual, 3 centimeters. That gets you the settings you need. And you can just roll around and see by the orbiting action that it's happened on all sides in the way it should. Now while this is still selected, we can go into extrude. The particular extrude we want is the one that sends each face along its own kind of facing direction. So we'll go right click and do extrude faces along normals. Now I could move this and they'll tend to probably go out, but I do know that I need to extrude inwards. So that's a negative number, so I'm going to go for -1. Okay, so -1 is just the thickness or the distance that the face has moved. Because it's extrude, it kind of builds out these side bits. So it's not just a matter of selecting the face and moving it, it's actually making new geometry with a built thickness of -1. Okay, and that's sort of done. Yeah, I'm going to say that's done. Okay, so the next thing is, before we get on to make the next object, which is the lid, I just need to place this object kind of ready to go. Place this up ready to go kind of underneath the lid, where the lid needs to be. Okay, so I'm going to move this so that the back edge here, this one, is on the red x-axis line. Okay, so I can do this from the location settings here. And once I've done that, then I want to again go and apply those transforms. So X is left, right. So that doesn't need to change at all, so I can leave that one alone. Now the Y is front to back, and I want it to come towards us, which is in the negative Y. So I want it to come towards us half of its depth being 40, so that's -20. Okay. Also, it needs to move down. Now the height is 30 centimeters, so half of that being 15. So if I use the tab key to go to the Z, and I'm going to enter -15, -15 in there. Now, can you see what I've done? Yeah, I bet you can. Okay, so I'll not do that. I'll escape that. I'll undo that. There's the rookie error for you. So I should be in object mode, of course. Okay, so Luckily I've undone that. We can see the numbers here have gone back to 0, thankfully. Okay, so I'm now going to hit the tab key, go to object mode, and I just need to probably click somewhere on the model, and go to tab into object mode, and go to these numbers again. So it's -20 and -15. Okay, and now that red line goes along the back edge of the chest. Okay, I want these to be zeroed though, so I want this to be the kind of origin location of the object. So the reason we've done this is because we want the hinge point to be set in the game, and this is the way you do it. So it's not about the pivot point that it has while it's in Blender, it's about where it is in relation to the origin pointed world space. Okay, so we'll move that there. Okay, so the next object is going to be a cylinder, but before I get ahead of myself, I want to zero out these locations. So it's Control A and apply all transforms, and they are zeroed out, and 1s for the scale. Okay, so that's all good, and now it's time to make our lid. So our lid is going to start off as a cylinder. One bit of sort of housework, which is to name this what it is, which is chest base. Okay, so I don't get the stuff mixed up. If you're going to add another cube type object in there, then yeah, you really want the names to be sorted out before that happens, otherwise confusion reigns. Okay, so I did my apply transforms. I've now made my name change, and yeah, time for a new object. I'm just going to turn that one off so it doesn't confuse. So we're going to start with the cylinder. We're going to add mesh cylinder. Now the default settings here have been changed. So because I did rehearsal, you're probably going to get a number something like this in the vertices section. So there we go. So that looks kind of fairly nice and smooth. There's a little sign of kind of edges going down there. And if we go invisible, that says one story. That's not invisible, it's X-ray. If we go wireframe, you can see it's quite busy with edges down there. So if I change this to 12, there's a particular reason I need to do this, and it's because of the operations we're going to do, like we did on the base. We're going to do the same on the lid, and we can't have edges too close together in order to do the inset that we need to do. Okay, I'm just going to put the shading view back on. Now size-wise, it wants to follow these numbers, and again, you probably saw something like 100 there as a radius, and then the depth like that, which gives you a sort of square shaped cylinder. So obviously we need to change the numbers. Now the depth from front to back of our chest base was 40 centimeters, so a radius is kind of like half of that dimension, so that's 20. And then the depth, which is really the height of the cylinder as we're looking at it, is 200. We want that to be 80, which is the width of the box it's going. Okay, so that's why those numbers are used. The orientation is also wrong, so while we're here we could fix up the orientation. So you can see the green axis line going there, which is the y-axis, and we want it to twizzle round -90 or maybe +90, whichever one you see fit. The visual result will be the same. So go -90, and that's what we get. One more thing, or is it two? It's two, really. We're going to move the location. So the location thing, well, actually, we're going to cut the bottom off the cylinder. So in height terms, the z-axis is all good. If we look at the top, the y-axis is needs a bit of change. The x-axis is good. It doesn't need to move along the red x-axis anyway. So it's just the y-axis that needs changing, and it needs moving minus 20, or negative 20. So minus 20, hit the enter key, and that's there. Now, if we scroll in, see it's in the right place. What we're going to do is cut the bottom off kind of along the line. It's a line that doesn't exist yet between these two vertices here. So we'll do Control A to apply transforms. So that zeroed everything out, and then we'll go to edit mode and hit 1 because we want to be in vertex mode for this operation. So we'll go 1. Now if I just click away and just drag, and I just want to select these two verts here. Just checking, verts 2, that's good. And now hit J on the keyboard. J works to mean join. The name of the command is actually something different. Okay, the command is connect vertex path, but J, there you see. So J for join, easy. And let's look at the other side. So if I go X and then X again, that'll show us, send us around to the other side. Click in space to deselect everything, and then drag select over those two. And oh look, so we've got a third vertex has sneaked its way in. There we go, it's that one there. Now to deselect, you can hold Control down and click on one that you want to get rid of. Oh, Shift, my mistake, Shift. So Shift select to include and then exclude. And then we've just got the two we want, hit J on the keyboard again, and there's the line that joins them. Okay, so if I go now to this minus X, one or the other, doesn't really matter. If I stay kind of level, I can drag over and select these vertices. Problem is though, I'm only selecting the ones I can actually see, and I want to select all of them kind of through the model. So if I go to X-ray mode and then drag select over the ones I can see, I don't want to get these ones on the line because I don't want to leave those ones, of course. So then I hit X on the keyboard, and this time I'm deleting vertices. Okay, so now we've got our sort of empty mesh, our open hollow. Okay, we're looking at the underside now, just in case you got disorientated. I have got disorientated before. Let's come out of X-ray and see the mesh. It makes a bit more sense now. We can see everything. Okay, so we're going to do the old solidify trick with a solidify modifier. So we go out to object mode with a click on the tab key, add modifier, generate, solidify, -1 offset, and then an amount of 2 centimeters, and that's good. So you can see it's replicated the exterior structure here on the inside of the mesh as well. But that's about as kind of complex as we need it to be at this point. Okay, so the next thing is to move to the inset part of the proceedings. Okay, so we're going to go to this end face. So we'll go Control A to apply transforms, fix that in place, and then hit tab on the keyboard to edit mode. And now we're going to go to just these end faces. So we need 3 to make face mode. Select that one, click down on the scroll wheel, drag, and then hold shift and click that one. We've got 2 faces selected. Now is it individual? I think it is. It's on individual mode, isn't it? And then so we don't need to do a second eye, and then we go for 3 and hit enter. and then you can see, yeah, there it is on individual, and 3 centimeters. These top roly bits, they need a different approach. So we're going to go look on the top of it. Now we're in perspective mode at the moment, and we need to come out of perspective mode, otherwise we can't quite see all of the faces. So in face mode, I'm going to drag over and get 6 faces. There's the proof of that. And we're going to go for eye. And you can see we're working in individual, so hit eye again to come out of individual. And then the amount is going to be 3 centimeters. So it's 3 on the keyboard. And there you go. So that's that done. While this is still selected, might as well do the extrude. I'm just going to come out of this mode and then just get a bit of an angled view, because I want to just see what's going on with the surface. There's just one more kind of tweak thing to do. So I'm going to do these while they're still selected. So I'm going to go right click, extrude faces along normals. Again, just tweak it a bit, because I need to go negative. At the top, I'm not going to move my cursor because it'll send things out of whack. But at the top left, you can see shrink flatten -1.5. But I just really want -1. When you have kind of simple, easy round numbers like that, it's easy both to remember them and also takes no time to enter them as well. Yeah, 1.523 is a bit of a memory stress. While we're in this mode, in this selection setup, let's right click again, and I just want to show you something you can easily quickly achieve, which is a smoothness that doesn't add any more geometry. There's no more edges added. So we just do shade smooth, and now as I roll over you can see a nice kind of smooth, gentle highlight instead of the flat and raised edges that it seemed to have before. You can still see the edges on these bits here, and you can go over and kind of select those and do those yourself with the shade flat thing. But let's do the extrudes on the end, and then we're good. Just checking, like 2 faces selected, good. So now it's extrude faces along normals, just bump it a little bit and then fix the number as -1, and it's good. At this point, that's kind of it. Well, just got to change my name, I've got to apply my modifier. So now notice I tried apply here and it's greyed out, and that's because we're still in edit mode. So we'll come out of edit mode. Before we do, let's have a quick look inside. No, that's still good. There's a little bit of something gone on to do with the extrudes, not the extrude, well, the extrudes and the insets. But other than that, it's okay. Okay, so better to apply actually before this point. But okay, so we're now in object mode. I hit the tab key, and we're going to do Control A, apply all transforms, all good, and now you can see the end result. Change the name to be chess lid, and deselect everything. So then you can see where it's kind of shading nicely, because it's kind of a nice smooth effect here. You may want to have like wooden plank effect going over the top. Nonetheless, it's probably still a good idea to shade these ones smooth. But yeah. Okay, so that's it. I hope you find that useful. Some of it's may kind of hit home after a second viewing, and then a third go where you try and follow along with this open by the side of your work. Okay. There, it's applied now. Alright, I hope that's useful. Part 2 coming up.